Hey there, Cancer, and welcome to your October 2018 Creativity Tarot reading. My name is Kayleigh Jean, and welcome to my channel. As I was tuning into your energy for the month of October, I received the phrase, permission to love. And as I was sort of tuning in to this energy, I kind of feel like October is a month of healing for you around recognition and validation of something that you do actually want. And this could be in your career, it could be in your creative self-expression, it could even be in your personal life, permission to love someone that you've been holding yourself back from loving in any context in which that's relevant. But there's just this sense of like that for you, Cancer, you need to give yourself permission to just enjoy what you enjoy, even if you have been judging yourself or holding yourself back or criticizing yourself and thinking that whatever you love isn't worthy of your time and attention, or if it's silly, or if you're telling yourself that it's never going to happen, or it's too big, or it's not for you. The message is like all of that is really just doubt that has been programmed in you as a result of your life experiences and your cultural background and your family upbringing, but they're not really representative of the truth of your situation. And I feel like if you do give yourself permission to just love what you love and do what you love without judgment, you will find that your life becomes more of a representation of your ideal experience. So some ways that this could manifest might mean that you start pursuing something in a bigger way in your career, for example, like a vocation or a training, or maybe you just give yourself permission to pursue a creative interest that you've been telling yourself, no, that's for other people get to do that but not me, or if I did that it would just look silly, or any of those things. I feel like the message is really going kind of to the heart of that and really asking you to release any beliefs that you have about like what your limitations are. And this is a representative of a very deep healing for you, Cancer. So I'm excited to see what else comes through for you in your cards, but just know that that was kind of the main message coming through in the meditation for you, is really just to relax and give yourself permission to love whatever you love, and permission to embrace what I'm hearing is like new journeys that may have a little bit of challenge for you, or that you may be sort of anticipating a little bit of challenge, or having to face some fears, for example, in the process of allowing yourself to love what you love. Maybe fear of rejection or judgment or criticism. Maybe it's a fear of inadequacy. But I feel like when you lean into what you genuinely love and what brings you joy, and you actually start on that path, or you deepen your relationship with that path that you've already started, you're going to find that those fears are completely unfounded and they're not true, and you will find your place in, for example, the creative industry that you want to enter into. You will find your voice if you're writing a book, or if you want to write a book but you're like, I can't write, I don't know how to put a sentence together, I don't know how to organize, I don't know how to make a plan for, you know, a whole outline of a book. You might feel like there's all of these things that are keeping you back from doing that. Or maybe you love poetry or music, or something that is very emotionally stirring, but doesn't necessarily have like what you feel to be a practical application, and maybe that's not what your training has been. And so there's just this overall sense of needing to embrace your vision and your values and your truth and your artistic desires as well, and to not feel like you have to keep that stuff in the closet or keep those aspects of you in the shadows, but really embracing them in a bigger way. And if it's a person, you know, this could be like connecting with somebody from your past, maybe, that you are feeling called to, but that you've been telling yourself that it's not worth doing. Or it could be connecting with someone new, somebody that's a very unusual type of person for you that you wouldn't normally be drawn to, or maybe they live a lifestyle that you're not normally drawn to. But again, it's just like allow yourself to have this vision for yourself and allow yourself to kind of move towards it. So that was the message for Cancers. I hope that's helpful. Let's take a look at your tarot cards. Cancer. Tarot. Please give us loving guidance for Cancers. Beautiful. I was just seeing like a long distance runner just now, running on kind of like a wild trail, almost not a paved trail, but like a little dirt trail. So there could be something going on here where it's like this is a long-term thing. This is something to set your sights on and move gradually towards it. So let's take your animal spirit guides for the month. We have the bee and the camel. Oh, I love it. That is such a freaking amazingly spot on message given what I just heard about the long distance runner, because the camel as a card in this deck, as well as just as a creature, one of the things that is sort of essential to the card of the camel and like what it means when it comes up in your reading as one of your spirit animal totems is that this is about not being in a hurry. It's about embracing life that moves kind of step by step, setting your sights on something that you want to accomplish and being willing to have the inner strength and fortitude and kind of peaceful, serene motivation towards that goal. So for some of you, I'm almost kind of feeling this like if you're wanting to write a book, for example, this is the process of kind of looking within your own heart and saying, this is something that I know that I have in me. This is something that I know is important to me. This is something that has enough emotional power to motivate me over time, and I'm willing to take this step by step. For example, setting a quota for yourself, maybe 100 words a day or 300 words a day in your book, whatever, meaning that has for you or however that makes the most sense for you. I feel like the camel card coming up as an influence is indicating this sort of quiet strength and this quiet contentedness to pursue your path and show up every day. Maybe you still have a lot of other things that you have to work out in your life. Maybe you have a lot of responsibilities. You have relationships that need tending. You may have children that need tending. You may have academic responsibilities or anything along those lines. But the camel, as kind of like the spirit or the essence of the camel showing up for you, shows you this ability that you can take. It's like this attitude of, I will not be strayed, like I will not be distracted from my connection to my path, my spiritual path, my path as an artist, my path as a creator, my path just as a person, like your purpose in life. You will not be strayed from that, even if it means that, with all of the other things going on, maybe you have to burn the midnight oil a little bit with the camel card. It's a nighttime card, so maybe that means you're going to be journaling. If this is all about your self-care and your spiritual self-care, it could mean that you're going to do 10 minutes of gratitude journaling right before you go to sleep, and that's something you're going to commit to for the whole month of October or for the next year, even if you can, if that's something that is like a commitment that's calling to you. This is a card of quiet strength and determination towards yourself and honoring what you really love, Cancer, honoring what is important to you, honoring your values, and not being shaken away from that, not being able to be distracted from that, but knowing that slow and steady wins the race. This is a long-term vision. This is something for you to relax into. This is a soft determination card. So I really like that. And also your path card is the bee. So it shows me that whatever this is for you, that you're kind of wanting to orient yourself towards or wanting to commit to or having this kind of gentle path forward with, it does very much have to do with your industry. It has to do with your money, your career, your creativity, or your self-expression, because the bee represents our work. It represents not only our work, but really in a deeper sense, our dharma. It's our effort that we exert into the world to serve the highest good. And it almost kind of, when we're in the bee kind of energy, we are earnest and we don't keep score. We don't try and compete with others. We don't compare ourselves to others. When we're really truly in the bee energy, we are kind of, it's liberation. In a lot of ways, it's liberation, because you're not needing to be in any sort of a position of desperation, or in any sort of a position of comparison with others, or showing up because you feel like you're gonna miss out if you don't. Like, that's not really the archetype of the bee. As a creature, this animal is, or this insect rather, is very community driven. It's about what the community needs, and it's about fulfilling its role. And there's a peace that comes with that. There's a peace in knowing that you are just going to show up and do your best and take care of yourself at the same time, and that's it. You don't have to be a perfectionist about anything. You don't have to try and reach further than what makes sense for you. Like, it's about reorienting back into your roots, reorienting back into your own kind of, yeah, like your own, it's like I'm seeing you almost like a tree, you know, just coming back to that, those deep roots, that sense of respecting and honoring your own self, your own physical body, your own space, and not really looking and distracting yourself with what the outside might be theoretically telling you you should be doing, or what other people value. This is about what you value, Cancer. It's about what you love, and showing up and fulfilling that role to serve what you love in the highest degree, to your highest potential. And there's an earnestness and a care and a responsibility to these cards. There's a peace in that acceptance of a role. And so maybe some of you are healers. Maybe some of you are doing healing work, major healing work this month, or entering into the role of being a healer. And these cards really beautifully show your orientation towards that role, your orientation towards being a helper, being a facilitator, being a supporter of others, and really finding your rhythm in that and finding your purpose in that. Because it's about you and what you love, but you're a Cancer, so what you love ultimately also brings in other people, and it brings in emotional connections with other people and supporting and lifting other people up. I mean, you just can't get away from that. You are kind of like you're the home sign, you know, you're just like the loving, you know, enveloping warm sign in the zodiac. So there's always going to be some kind of element to that. When you're really feeling like you're in your purpose, you're going to be emotionally aligned with it. And when you're emotionally aligned with it, it means that it's benefiting other people or animals or the environment. It's your gift, essentially, is what you're doing. So let's take a look at your tarot cards. We have Ace of Wands with the Two of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, the Tower, Prince of Cups, Ten of Wands, Prince of Pentacles, and the Princess of Wands. So lots of wands and pentacles in this reading. You also have the Tower. And what I want to say too is that for you, this full moon in Aries on the 13th of October is showing up in your 10th house by your sun sign. But even if you have a Cancer ascendant or a Cancer moon, this effect is going to be felt in some ways, especially if it's your ascendant, then it could literally be in your 10th house. But regardless, this energy is showing up in your symbolic 10th house, which is your career, basically. And we see this theme really reinforced anytime that we see wands and pentacles coming up dominantly in a spread that has just been pulled. The energy is really directed towards the career life of the individual being read for. And for you, this is collective. So one thing that we see with the Ace of Wands and the Two of Wands is almost like in the beginning of the month, there's this opportunity that comes in, or maybe it's already in and you're kind of pondering it, Cancer, but either way, there's a new opportunity coming in. It's something that you would have to seize. It's not something that's just a given, but there is this idea or this potential or maybe even an offer or an opportunity, and it immediately puts you in this place of having to make a decision, right? Because you have the Two of Wands coming up right next to it. So it's like maybe you've been on one path and you've been thinking about other options for a while, but then something kind of becomes more real in the beginning of the month. And then it's like, okay, now I'm not just on one path with all of these kind of potentials that I'm thinking about. Now it's like I'm almost kind of, my path is sort of forking literally right in front of me, and I have to choose which way. Am I going to keep going this way, or am I going to go this other way? So you're definitely at a fork in the road, and I feel like with this Ace of Wands, such a beautiful card of change, you know, with the leaves and everything about it is just, this is one of my favorite cards. I love all of the aces in this deck, the Druidcraft Tarot. But the Two of Wands here shows me that this is very much a time in which you're going to be having to make some creative decisions for yourself. And I feel like many of you are actually going to choose to make some kind of significant change, obviously, because we have the Tower showing up next to the Ace of Pentacles. So when we see the Tower with the Ace of Pentacles, it definitely makes the Ace of Pentacles a little bit more friendly. It makes the Tower a little bit more friendly because the Ace of Pentacles shows kind of this potential for new stability coming in, right? We have the bear in this image, which is also a symbol of personal strength and stability and comfort and the ability to kind of be independent with something as well. And then we have the Tower here showing these this lightning striking something that has been well established, and these people are jumping out. So for some of you, there could be changes coming in your career because, again, this is Pentacles and Wands dominantly in this suit. Some kind of change in your career, but at the same time, there's this new potential coming in with the Ace of Pentacles. So it's almost like if you work at a company or an organization, there could be rumors of layoffs, or there could be rumors of a department closing, or maybe an argument happens between two people. It may not necessarily be you, Cancer, although it could be, but it could be between two other people, which then splits the energy of a business or a company or an industry. And it brings changes into your life. Like, it does affect you because this Tower is coming up in your reading. So even if you're not the direct cause of it, it's like you're being affected by something that is more of a universal energy, right? Like thunderstorm is representative of a cosmological change. It's an environmental change. It's circumstantial. It's not because of you personally, but it's coming in from the environment. And we can't control the weather, so we have to kind of work with it, although we can look at it and see the spiritual dimension and the meaning that it has for us, because chances are, looking at this, you know that you needed a change already anyway. And this Ace of Pentacles is coming in as like a promise, I feel. It's like a promise of future stability. It's a promise of something to be gained, some kind of worth, some kind of value, some kind of promise that things are going to become more grounded again. And it could be sooner than later for many of you. So we have these cards coming up around the middle of the month. So be prepared. Some of you, there could be a major change in your career, or there could be a major change in the routine and sort of like the ritual, or like the habits that you have in your life. When you have the Tower showing up there with the Ace of Pentacles, it's changes to like what grounds you, you know, but it's okay because there's new energy coming in to kind of help you along to the next phase. So I really do think that this is something important for you because you have these two princes and the princess in the latter portion of the month. Princes and princesses in this deck are, like, the princesses are the pages, basically, and the princes are the knights in the Celtic or the Druidcraft Tarot. So with the Prince of Cups and the Ten of Wands, there's this opportunity right now to step out of some kind of situation that has been very heavy on you. There's like a release of heaviness because look at these cards. The Ten of Wands guy is carrying these wands. He looks so tired and forlorn and just over it. And the Prince of Cups is coming in offering a cup. And again, I see the aces as offerings from life. I see the Prince of Cups in particular as a knight or a prince that offers something, because in most decks he's shown holding out a cup, which feels like an offering. But with the horse on this card, one of the first things that struck me right away was just like the tired look that this horse has. Now the horses represent our physical energy. They also represent our life force and our inspiration and our sense of like having the freedom within our own self and our lives to pursue that which we desire. Horses are all about empowerment and wanting to move forward, wanting to have the power and the empowerment to be free, essentially, to pursue what we love. And so it's just really beautiful to have that coming through after what came through in your meditation. But what I see here actually is that with the horse looking kind of tired, but then the Knight of Cups, which is a very much connected to your energy. He's a water sign, or he's a watery prince. So it's a very Cancerian energy. It's almost like saying, especially with the Ten of Wands echoing that energy of being tired, it's like you've been a little tired, Cancer. You've been tired of the expectations that have been placed on you or the responsibilities that you have willingly committed yourself to. And I feel like right now in October, what's going on is this deep sense of self-respect and this sense of recognition that what you're doing may have worked for you in the past, but now you need to make some changes so that you can bring in more joy and more passion and more love and excitement into your life. This is going to manifest in a lot of different ways for all of you, but I am getting this overall sense of October is a time to recharge, and it's a time, especially around the third week of the month, it's going to be a time in which you look at what life is offering you and you really genuinely ask yourself, like, am I giving myself permission to live the life that I really want to live? And that's a question we can ask ourselves all of the time, and we should. It's a good question to ask, but I feel like there's something about this question that's deeper for you this month. It's striking a chord like in the deepest part of your heart. And you're really looking at this and thinking and processing and allowing new awarenesses to come in. Awarenesses of the fact that maybe the reason that you've been feeling a little bit worn out maybe it was over the summer, or maybe it was, in the last 6 months, but maybe the reason that you've been feeling a little bit more down has more to do with that you have been holding yourself apart from what you really love. You've been pushing your emotional state down because you have a belief or a thought or a doubt that you consistently think about your situation that keeps you in this lower emotional place. And it's not to say that you've just been emotionally low like consistently, but this is something that I feel like you're realizing more and more in October, that you simply haven't been giving yourself permission to accept the blessings and the opportunities of your life. And these blessings and opportunities come in all kinds of ways. Sometimes they come in signs and omens from the universe, which you maybe have written off at certain points, or maybe you've downplayed them, like, wow, you had this amazing synchronicity, and then you, like, by the next day or two, you've kind of just forgotten about it, and maybe you wrote it down, but you're just kind of going back into more of a mundane experience of life, when actually what your psyche is telling you and what your heart is telling you is that there's a whole deeper realm of meaning and purpose and appreciation and enjoyment that you could feel even more of in your current circumstances. Even without making some kind of big change like we see on the tower, you could feel more love, appreciation, and joy on a daily basis if you structured your life more in an orientation towards those feelings. And you wouldn't have to sacrifice much to get there. It's just going to be about doing more things for the pure purpose of joy and consciously minding your vibration. And for some of you, it will be about making a big change, obviously, because we have the tower. The end of the month looks very promising for you. It kind of makes sense because the sun will be moving into Scorpio on the 23rd, which is going to trine you. It's one of your fellow water signs. So the sun, Mercury, Venus, and eventually Mars as well are all going to be putting a lot of positive energy and energizing influences into your placements that you have in Cancer. So it makes sense that you're going to be feeling kind of, I guess, empowered and excited. I feel that energy really strongly. And I feel like many of you are actually already feeling that in the beginning of this month. I don't know if it's the turn of seasons for you or what, but I feel like there's a sense of energy coming back in your life already, but it's really going to kick into gear, and you're really going to be feeling like everything is kind of moving by the end of the month. And you have the Princess and the Prince of Pentacles, Princess of Wands, Prince of Pentacles. So there could be like this opposites attract thing going on at the end of the month. For those of you who are interested in love, you might connect with somebody who is like of a different element from you. I mean, we don't see your element showing up in these cards, but I feel like there's just this sense of like increased creativity and excitement with the Princess of Wands. And then there's a Prince of Pentacles, which is more of like a dependable energy. It's an earnest energy, similar to the Bee card that's coming up for your animal spirit guides for the month. So it's like two people, two personalities coming together. They could be aspects of you, like your passionate, inspired, creative side, as well as your dependable, reliable, committed side, merging into like a unification. So you have passion and you have commitment, which becomes passionate preparation. It becomes inspired action. And inspired action often leads to like major breakthroughs. So if this is just purely like a creative reading for you and you're not interested in love, I feel like this is a message that says at the end of the month you're going to be feeling really inspired, and you're going to be achieving a lot in your work or in kind of like your. So we have the heart chakra card coming out, just jumping right out as I'm shuffling. So it's like your heart is in what you're doing, and because of that, you're making major leaps in your creativity. So taking the book example, it's like you get to the end of the month and you've written 5 chapters already, which was 2 more than you expected to have written, or something along those lines. Or you're just feeling very inspired and creative, and so you're able to channel that. It could also be because we see, I was talking about the opposites attract thing, and there could be love coming in at the end of the month. For those of you who are interested, the 4th chakra card really corroborates that and says, yes, you know, if that's something that you're seeking, that can definitely be a theme for you. But I want to just get an overall message card for Cancers. Walking away from the energy oracle. And that makes a lot of sense when we have the Tower coming up. We have the 10 of Wands, and we had the tired horse on the Knight of Cups. It's like walking away is a big theme. Anytime you get walking away and the Tower in the same reading, it does represent that this is a time of big shifts. This is a time to respect yourself and respect the energy that you put into your life and your work, And if you're engaging in a relationship or a job situation or a friendship or a family relationship that isn't honoring what you're putting in, and you're feeling burnt out, underappreciated, or even at the worst, kind of used, this is your validation, Cancer, that it's safe for you to walk away. It's safe and responsible for you to set clearer boundaries as well, because the gate also that she's kind of behind represents a boundary. So there's a lot of change coming in for you, Cancer, but it's self-initiated. So I feel like it's going to be something that you mainly experience as quite positive. Let's get, wow. So from the Soul Trees Oracle, we have Reconnect with Spirit. So this is a month, like I was saying before, to reconnect with what you love. Because when you're doing something that you love, or you're doing something that brings you joy, that like good, golden, warm, kind of yummy feeling, that is you being aligned with your spirit. That is you being aligned with your higher self or your purpose, or it's you having a high vibration and therefore being able to reconnect with spirit. So again, the message is coming full circle, that it's time for you to reconnect with spirit, reconnect with your why, come back to what's important, and recognize the action of spirit in your life. I feel like spirit is acting in your life in very profound ways, but it's going to be up to you to have a still enough mind and an open enough heart to recognize that awesome fucking power that is moving through your life at this time. Because if you're not feeling it, that's only because you're in your head. And the only thing you have to do to feel it is just set the intention to reconnect with spirit and do something that you love. Get on a topic that gives you joy. Think about something that's easy for you to think about. Get into a looser, generally good feeling state and set that intention to continually do that. And you will feel better. So I hope that this reading has been helpful to you, Cancer. I'm sending you so much love. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this reading, please give me a thumbs up and share this video and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. All of those things really help my channel, and it really helps me to know that these readings are helpful to you. So I really, really appreciate it. And I just want to again say thank you so much for being here. I'm really honored to have been able to read for you. And I'm sending you so much love. Okay, bye, Cancers. And also, if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, I'll put the information on that below. The 2020 readings are available now to purchase and order ahead of time. So that information will be below as well. And then we are doing the Witches New Year Tarot Challenge throughout the month of October on Instagram. So if you want to participate with me, I'll be in there every day sharing my card draws and journaling and connecting with you guys all throughout October. So if you want to interact on there, feel free to follow me on Instagram, and that will be below. Okay, bye, Cancer. Mwah. Love you so much. Have a great month.